They say that love can make you do crazy things. You can go to any extent for your loved ones, even kill someone. But what if the person whom you love turns out to be a monster? Our next post is from Reddit user who asks, "What was the most disgusting thing my fiancé did on our wedding night?" Well, I'm going to tell you, this comes from a series called 1000 Truly Disgusting Things. So let's get started. It was about 2 decades ago, somewhere around 2003 or 2004, in a small village in a big country. We had a large joint family with lots of cousins and uncles and aunts. Back then, I was just 19 years old, very innocent, and my cousin Artie was getting married to this guy from a nearby village. The guy's name was Imtiaz, a well-to-do farmer who had a lot of land. Everyone was invited to the wedding, including me. Although it was just a small village, the wedding was a huge affair, like they do in India. There were several rounds of meals, traditional clothing and rituals, and Artie looked really pretty in her red sari. On the second day of the wedding, the bride and groom were to leave for the groom's village. Before leaving, the bride's mother told her, "Don't forget, you have to consummate the marriage tonight. Your father-in-law will come to check," and all the women were giggling after saying this. I couldn't understand why they were saying such weird things until the bride's aunt explained it to me. "Oh, young one, you are still innocent. Come here, let me tell you the real world." Then she explained what happened on the first night of marriage. She said it was normal and nothing to be ashamed of. I pretended to understand and kept quiet because I was shocked and disgusted. I mean, I wasn't even married yet, and I could already see how messed up this world was. Then we all left for the groom's village. While on the way, I saw some goats in Imtiaz's house enclosure. I thought to myself, oh, so that's what happens on the first night of marriage. That's why they don't let the bride go to the washroom. She has to pee in the corner while the groom is doing his thing. Oh, gross. When we arrived at the house, we realized that it was a big, old, and isolated house. Even though there was a power connection, there was no electricity at the moment. In fact, the entire village didn't have electricity. But luckily, we had plenty of candles and oil lamps. All the relatives left soon after we arrived, and only Artie and Imtiaz were left in the house. The following morning, we all got up early and prepared to leave for our homes. But the bride and groom had to stay back because it was their first night. After everyone had left, I was washing the dishes outside when I heard screams coming from inside the house. Just then, Auntie came out and told me, "Go check on them. I'll join you in a bit." Now, I understood what she wanted me to do, but I wasn't sure if I should go ahead with it or not. I was hesitant, but she insisted. "Don't worry, child. You are the girl's cousin. It's your duty to help her." So I knocked on the door and yelled, "Artie, are you all right?" "Everything okay?" But there was no answer. I tried again, but the same result. I was worried, so I opened the door and walked in. The room was pitch black and I couldn't see anything. But then I heard a noise and saw that there was a glow coming from under the door. The glow was faint, but I could see enough to make out that there was a pair of legs under the bed. One leg had a red sorry wrapped around it, and the other leg was bare. Where was Artie? Was everything okay? I walked over and peeked under the bed. To my horror, I saw those bare feet suddenly move and push themselves further under the bed. Was she hiding from me? Why, I asked myself. I tried calling out to her again, but there was no reply. Worried, I went to the window and climbed onto it to look in. From there, I could see the whole room. But to my surprise, everything was fine. The bed was neatly made, and there was no sign of the bride anywhere. Had she gone to the washroom? I jumped down from the window and walked over to the washroom. It was an old building and the door had no lock. I opened it to find that it was empty. I mean, where could she have possibly gone? That's when I decided to light up the room and search everywhere. But to my shock, the place was a mess. Clothes were thrown everywhere, and there were a lot of bite marks on the bedsheet. Not just that, but there were also a few animal bones. What was going on here? I was scared to go near the bed, but I knew that I had to search everywhere. I went to the opposite corner of the room and found the bride sitting quietly. She wasn't wearing anything except for her underwear, which had also been torn apart. The sight made me sick to my stomach. I asked her, "Are you okay? Why did you tear your clothes? Did that guy hurt you?" But she just stood up, approached me and whispered, "He isn't a guy. You must get out of here." She then picked up a piece of bone and gave it to me. I screamed and threw it back at her. "What is this? Is this some kind of a joke?" But she just stood there quietly. "What did that guy do to you?" I asked. "Get away," she whispered. "If you want to save yourself, get away from here." As she spoke, she started to transform into a scary, hairy monster. I was terrified. How could I save myself? I ran to the door, but when I turned the knob, it was locked from outside. I tried screaming for help, but nobody was there to hear me. Then I looked back and saw that the bride was approaching me. She had sharp fangs, and her nails were like hooks. She lunged at me, but I managed to escape. I tripped and fell while running, but I didn't care. All I wanted to do was get away from that room. I was so scared that I didn't notice where I was going. I just kept running and soon found myself outside. I think I passed out right after that, because the next thing I remember is waking up in my parents' house. Turns out my aunt found me unconscious outside the house and brought me back home. When I regained consciousness, my parents were by my side. I told them everything that had happened, but they didn't believe me. My aunt also told them that I had seen something that shouldn't have been seen, and she convinced them that's why I am telling you this today. The next morning, my family went to check on Imtiaz and Artie. The house was completely destroyed and there was blood everywhere, but there was no sign of the couple anywhere. We searched everywhere, but they were nowhere to be found. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. Some villagers said that they saw Imtiaz and Artie together in the fields at night. but nobody knows where they went during the day. People say that Imtiaz and Artie aren't humans, but spirits that possess people's bodies and suck their life force. They choose a new body every year and leave the previous one to die. Who knows, maybe they chose Imtiaz and Artie this time. Anyway, whenever a young couple is about to get married in that village, the elders warn them about the fields and tell them to stay away from them at night. If you ask me, I would never get married. What if my husband turns out to be a monster?